Imagine if for one day you could pause your own thoughts and literally feel what someone else feels. How different would your reactions be? Stay with me, because by the end, you'll see empathy in a totally new, simple way. In this video, we'll break down empathy as stepping into another person's shoes, what it really means, what it is not, and 3 tiny habits to make your relationships calmer, warmer, and less confusing. Let's start with something familiar. Think about a time you were upset and someone replied, "It's not a big deal." Remember that little sting? That moment is the opposite of empathy. It's like they walked away from your shoes. Now imagine the same moment, but instead someone mentally walks over, pauses, and stands beside your shoes. They don't fix anything. They just say, "Wow, that sounds heavy." Your body relaxes, right? That's empathy in action. So what exactly is empathy? It's the mental skill of leaving your own viewpoint for a moment and quietly visiting the inner world of another person. Not agreeing, not fixing, just understanding from inside their perspective. Here's the key image: your mental shoes and their mental shoes. Empathy is the gentle act of stepping out of yours and into theirs. You imagine how the world feels standing where they stand, with their worries, their hopes. Notice something. This is different from sympathy. Sympathy says, "Poor you down there." You stay in your own shoes, looking from above. Empathy says, "Let me sit next to you for a moment and see what you see." Quick example. Your friend cancels plans again. First reaction? They don't care about me. Empathy asks, if I were in their shoes, what might be going on? Maybe stress, exhaustion, or fear of disappointing others. Standing in their shoes might sound like, if I'd had a draining week like that, I might cancel too. Notice, you're not excusing any pattern yet. You're just exploring their inner weather before reacting. So how do we practice this in real life? Habit 1, pause your judgment for a few seconds. When you feel irritation rising, silently say, "Hold on, step out of my shoes." This tiny pause is the doorway to empathy. Habit 2, ask a curious question. Instead of, "Why would you do that?" try, "What was going through your mind when that happened?" This shifts you from attack mode to explorer mode and invites them to open their world. For example, your sibling snaps at you. Instead of snapping back, you could say, "Hey, what's behind that tone? Long day?" You are gently knocking on the door of their shoes instead of slamming yours into them. Habit 3, reflect feelings in simple words. After listening, you try a sentence like, "Sounds like you felt ignored," or "I hear how disappointed you are." This shows you're not just hearing facts, but emotions. Be careful though. Empathy is not mind reading. You're guessing and checking. You might say, "It seems like you're frustrated," and they reply, "No, more overwhelmed." Great. That correction brings you closer to their shoes. Empathy also has healthy limits. If you always stand in other people's shoes and never return to your own, you'll feel drained. The skill is to visit their world, then come back and decide calmly what you want to do. Here's a protective thought. I can understand you without agreeing with you. You can stand in their shoes for a minute, then still say no, set a boundary, or choose something different for yourself. Parents, teachers, partners, leaders, anyone gains power with empathy. People feel safer around someone who can step into their shoes. Safety makes honesty possible. Honesty makes solutions possible. Let's look at a conflict example. 2 coworkers disagree about a task. Without empathy, they both stay in their own shoes, each convinced, "I'm right, you're wrong." The tension rises and nothing actually improves. With empathy, one thinks, what do things look like from their shoes? Maybe they fear failure or feel unseen. Naming this out loud, "I get you're under pressure," can drop the emotional temperature quickly. You might wonder, but what if they never do that for me? Important point. Empathy is a skill you choose for your own clarity. It helps you see situations sharply instead of reacting blindly from hurt. A surprising benefit. When you practice empathy toward others, you often become kinder to yourself. You start asking, if I were in my own shoes, with everything I've lived, is it any wonder I react this way? Try a tiny exercise tonight. Think of one person who annoyed you today. For 60 seconds, imagine their shoes, their day, their fears, their pressures. You don't have to agree, just explore. Notice what shifts in you. Over time, this shoe shifting turns into a quiet superpower. Arguments shorten, misunderstandings soften, people feel seen and you feel less attacked by every reaction because you understand where it might come from. One last nuance. Sometimes empathy is simply staying present in silence. No advice, no story of your own, just mentally standing in their shoes and letting them breathe without being judged or rushed. So empathy, as stepping into another person's shoes, is a three-part move. Pause your own view, visit theirs with curiosity, then return to your own place and choose your response with more wisdom. If this clicked for you, imagine a world where more people practice this simple skill in traffic, online comments, or family dinners. How many fights would never even start? To keep this idea alive, you might pick one phrase: what do things look like from their shoes? Repeat it in your mind this week whenever tension appears. That question alone can shift entire conversations. If you'd like more simple explanations like this, where big psychological ideas become everyday tools, consider staying around this channel. Your mind is your main tool. Understanding it makes life a lot lighter.